It'll be live soon, it says. 10%.
Oh, I can join.
And we're live now.
So I can join.
And then I will attach it. It's too early to share the screen.
It says 12 minutes, making a school. It says 12 minutes.
Oh, good. And I'm live here.
Okay.
So should I share it yet?
I would and see. I mean, just see what it looks. I'll be able to tell you what it looks like.
Right.
We haven't heard from our tech guy, so I don't know if he's around or what's going on. I thought there was a place to put it. I wonder if I can link stuff into this session.
Because I won't see me, but you will.
Attach file.
Right.
Let me see. Somebody must have clicked at you. They type a message to you?
I can't see him. Remember, he said he couldn't see messages. So 10 minutes and 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm live, but no one can get in yet.
I can't get in.
No.
It says it'll let me in.
And here's what
You should be able to see. I don't know why you're not able to see. Last time you were able to see yourself talking.
He couldn't.
Is that what he said?
Mm-hmm. And he couldn't see the chats.
I'll see if I can see you.
Yeah, I'll be able to see it on yours.
You might be able to see it. I should probably. Why don't I just put mine up there? See what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
That's what I thought before. Maybe I'll just put mine up there.
There you go. So we can see that. That's a good idea. And you'll be able to chime in because you'll see the screen.
Well, I'll do that, but I have to talk on that one.
For the camera.
Yeah, I can. I mean, I can. I'm trying to say open. Do
you want me to put it here and you sit here?
No, because it's this is you on camera.
Right.
No, I'll just come sit.
Okay.
You can turn it to me if
right.
you want me to talk. I mean, what's behind me, Ruth?
I'm saying I can move over here. You could be here.
Yeah, I mean, we can. I mean, we can. I think I just stay there. I mean, if it looks bad up there, then I'll move. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, it's a presentation.
I just want to see. Right now, I can't. What I'll do is tell them if you want documents with your email, I'll share them. But
there's a pause and you want to ask for questions, if there's something in the chat, I'll come off mute and share that. But otherwise, this is your show, and I'm super excited to learn.
Hello.
Say hello.
Hello.
Let me get my mic muted. There's a couple of us in the room. So, but I'm here. I'm James. If you need any help, I'm here to help. Great. Admin.
Thanks, James. This is Rick Strangis. I guess you know that. Hey, James, do I see myself or just the presentation?
Let me double check because I can see your presentation.
I have that up. I didn't know if I see me or not.
And I can see you as well.
Okay, good.
I'm saying your assistant here. I'm watching.
My assistant's here as well watching, so.
Okay.
Correct.
You can see what the attendees see, James, because I'm an attendee too.
Oh, they sure do.
Okay.
Now, if we want to link files or anything, I mean, we have them on Drive. Should I just get emails in the chat, James, or
Yeah. It, yeah,
Yes.
I'm here because
Okay.
my family is.
so maybe you just put in the chat, you know, or I can. If you want links to stuff, then we'll share them through email.
Here, I taught in Hillsborough County, and
Okay.
I just love it. Look more in the suburbs, but yeah, it's beautiful.
You'll be able to see yourself talk because you're going to sit all.
James, I also can put my the presentation's up now, so we're good to go. We start right on time.
You need
Yeah.
anything from me, Johnny?
Right.
I know that you're
We'll
going
hit start broadcast. We already on it.
I'm already broadcasting.
We'll do the same thing tomorrow.
Mhm.
That's okay. That's okay. This is your show, so if you need to just skip past something.
Usually have a makeup man, James, that comes out.
Well, I don't, but
We need
Rick,
one, James.
yeah, Rick, you could use it.
but there's a reason why I keep my camera off.
No, this will be good. It was very easy to use so far, so thank you.
Absolutely. There we go. Figured I'd turn the camera on for a minute or two before we got started.
Good.
But that's me. That's why I keep my camera off.
So, and we leave it on for 30 seconds afterwards, just to be sure.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. See, I did read the directions.
Go.
People will pop in and out probably to prep yourself. Like I'm gonna leave. So I'm just gonna put out.
Leave session. Now, why is Rex leaving the session?
I was gonna put in the notes to that or the one you
Heart-
started.
Heart,
Hey, Scott Stewart.
where are you?
Are you at Disney?
Are you riding the rides?
Hey, Scott, how are the Brewers?
I didn't see him pop up. Let's show how many participants or attendees are there.
Not saying that. Oh,
200. Wow.
People. Well, you got a lot.
204. Yeah.
How is the weather?
Oh. Well, how's the weather? We actually have a cool front coming through down in Tampa. So,
Yay, Tampa.
What, it's going to be 80?
well, yeah, probably by the end of the day. I think right now it's in the 60s.
You know, we're in Ohio, and it's going to be almost 60 today.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. But no beach and palm trees.
True.
We can't beat lightning, you know.
So, yeah,
No beach.
it's 63 today. Sunday was a little cooler. I think we started off in the 40s. It was a nice motorcycle ride home from Orlando to Tampa in the morning.
Double gloves.
So yeah, yeah. Well, but then about halfway home, it started getting warm. So then it was back to t-shirt, no gloves.
That's nice, though. That's nice.
Yeah, yeah. This time of year is always fun because you pack everything because you're gonna put it on at one point or take it off
Yep.
at one
Yeah.
point, depending on how long your ride is. So
No doubt about it. That's nice, though. That's a good motorcycle town.
yes, yes, it is. Well, just north of Tampa is anyway.
Right. Right. Yeah. Not in the city. To show how many attendees,
I am looking.
we're expecting 300.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
I don't see an actual number, but it looks like there's quite a few.
Good.
Okay, let's do that. Perfect.
Oh yeah, they're.
Oh, yeah, so I'll come off with you and start a broadcast.
So as soon as it gets to 0, should I go ahead and start then, James?
Yeah.
No.
Of course, remember you'll want to click that start broadcast button. And that won't start still. You'll click that button. It should be up at the top. Next to your name, it's in green.
Yep. I already did that.
Okay.
Only problem is you don't echo this thing to you. I'll turn it down.
All right. I'm gonna mute myself now, and I'll talk to you later.
Nice talking
Thanks,
to you.
James. We'll see you tomorrow
Thanks for your
morning.
help.
Absolutely, anytime.
See if I can hear you. Can't seem to.
Yeah, that'll be the other.
Okay, I do see you. Talk.
Good morning. This is Rick Strangis coming along with Rex Reader. Can everybody hear me okay? I hope so. So today we're going to talk a little bit about making a big school feel like it's a small world. We had to use the Disney analogy, of course, but we are in a high school that is in the fastest growing county in Ohio. Coming along with Rex Reader. So we are in the largest and fastest growing county. So as our school began to grow, we knew that we had to do something quickly, and that was to put in place some of the safety nets to protect our children and our staff. So we're going to talk today a little bit about making that big school feel like it's a little bit smaller. Rex Reader, my assistant, has cooked up some ideas in his brain that he's going to share with us today as well. We've been together for almost 20 years now. This is our second Blue Ribbon School of Excellence that we've tried to help make those growing schools feel a little bit smaller. So as any good teacher would, we're going to have you try to learn some learning targets. And the first one is, can I explain what this house system is? The second is, can I articulate the benefits of the house system? And can I implement components of the house system when I go home to my own school? And in your case, go down the hall to your own school. So we want you to feel at the end that you can explain what we're talking about, articulate the benefits, and then maybe even implement some of those things in your own school system. We've had the benefit of presenting here at Blue Ribbon the last 5 or 6 years and have talked to many schools who have implemented it in their school. So first thing we did was, let's take a look at what we needed. We knew we were growing. We knew we were becoming a little bit impersonal. We knew a lot of the benefits that we knew are important to our young people were not being provided. So we did a needs assessment. And our needs assessment found these 5 things. And I think if you did a needs assessment at your own school, you'd probably have similar things. First is a need for more personalized school culture. You can't move the academic needle without moving the school culture first. So we knew that as we were growing to almost 1,800 in our high school, that it was becoming less and less personal. Kids were numbers in the hallway. We didn't know everybody. We had to find a way to meet the needs of our school culture in a more personalized way. The second thing that emerged out of our needs assessment was the need for more student and staff connections. We just felt like we were becoming divisive, that we didn't have opportunities within the school day to make those good connections that we know are the most important component of a successful school. So we knew, number 2, that we needed more opportunities to provide time for staff and students to connect. The third one was we needed some intervention time. We wanted to intervene with students, but there really wasn't any time. And you're probably feeling the same way at your school. There's just no time to do those things. So we knew we needed to provide some intervention time during the school day. A lot of people have that after school time, but we didn't have that luxury. A lot of our students are working. We're kind of a higher poverty area where our students go home and work or watch younger siblings and needed transportation. So they couldn't stick around for us to provide some intervention time after school. So we knew we needed to have time within our school day to intervene with kids. The fourth thing that emerged was the need for more leadership opportunities. We have department chairs like most of you do, but we knew we needed to double that. How do we provide leadership opportunities for our teachers and our students in a different way? We had 13 or 14 elected students who were part of our leadership team. We wanted to increase that too for our kids. So more leadership opportunities for staff and for students as well. And the last thing that emerged was we had a lack of mentorship opportunities where we didn't have time for our older students to mentor our younger students. So those are the 5 needs that emerged from our needs assessment. And I would urge all of you to at least go through that process with your staff just to find out really what the needs are. You hate to implement something that really wasn't needed. So as you go through that, I'd be interested to know if you guys had similar needs as we do here at our high school. So we came up with an idea to divide our school, our 1,800, into smaller houses. And so our mission of this was to provide a supportive community that offers those needs that we knew: leadership, service, social and academic opportunities for all of our students. So why house? Well, we knew that we wanted to divide it into 8 different houses. We knew that the connections were a major part of this experience. With our growing population, we knew we had to make that big school feel smaller. And that's why we decided to go with our house system. So what is it? Well, our school is divided into 8 houses. And those 8 houses provide those opportunities that met our needs assessment: leadership, service, mentoring, tutoring, all the things that we knew are important. Probably the same things that are important at your school. How about that transition from 8th grade to 9th grade? How is that? It's a problem in every school. So we wanted to make sure we could develop something that would address that as well. How about diversity and culture? It's difficult to find time to address those needs Well, we're going to find time, and I'm going to help you find time at your school as well. How do we have time for our students to work on college resumes? How about clubs and organizations? We're going to talk more about it, but we had maybe 6 or 7 clubs going all after school, and nobody could go. It just didn't make any sense to us. So we have provided time, and we'll talk more about clubs and organizations as we go. Well, the concept came from one-room schoolhouses. In our county, we sat down one day with our historical society and talked about some good names to name our 8 houses. Here in Ohio, it is the birthplace of 7 presidents, and so we thought, well, that doesn't equal 8. How about Native American Indian tribes? So we talked about that. We talked about street names, great leaders, former principals. But as we were sitting here talking, our historical society had a map out. And on the map, he was circling things. So Rex and I were wondering what he was doing. And he said, I'm identifying the one-room schoolhouses that are still standing in Delaware County. So we were intrigued by that. And he said, we still have 8 of them are standing. We asked, how many did you say? And he said 8. And we thought right away, what a great tie to history of our county to name our houses after the 8 one-room schoolhouses that still stand. That way we have a link to history and a real place that our students could see with their house, why their house was named, what their house was named. So 8 houses, one-room schoolhouses of our county. They are Houck House, Fulton Creek, Ridge, Sugar Grove, Lockport, Prospect Hill, Steamtown, and Fairview. You can go to those places and see the actual one-room schoolhouse still there. So then how do we place those students at the time we had 1,600 into those houses? Well, we sorted them by gender, by race, by grade, by address where they lived, and by any activities, football, band, whatever. What we didn't want to have was a house full of football players or a house full of marching band students. We wanted to make it a good mix. So we sorted those out and placed students based upon that. So every house looked similar. Every house looked similar. So we decided to find time in our day, and this will be your challenge, to find 30 minutes a day. We meet every day. Every day. So how do you find 30 minutes? And we're going to show you how to do that. So 30 minutes a day in house. 4 houses meet during 5th period, which I'll show. 4 houses meet during 6th period, and then they flip-flop lunch and house, and we'll show you that too. And then someone asked me the other day, is it just a 9th grade house or just a senior house? No, because that provides us opportunities for mentoring and tutoring within your house if you have 9 through 12. The other thing it builds is an opportunity for teachers and students to connect. Remember, that was one of our needs, to connect to one another for 4 years. They're not just in a house a year and then gone. You build connections through time, and so that's what we wanted to provide as well. Along this way, if you have questions or you need clarification, throw it in the chat and we'll make sure we answer those for you. And then at the very end, we'll have our contact information that we hope you, and we encourage you to reach out to us. We can help you along the journey. That's part of the excitement that we have, is to help others. So we needed some people to lead this. Remember, we talked about leadership opportunities in our needs assessment. We needed opportunities for teachers to lead houses. So we did an application process. And why would you want to lead? They submitted those to us. We interviewed them. We posted the positions like we all probably have to do. And we interviewed folks to see teachers that would like to lead this. We also reached out to some teachers, just to be honest with you, who we knew could emerge as great leaders, and we reached out to them to say, please apply for that too. So we came out with a way to differentiate them from our department chairs, and they became house deans. And the dean of each house had the opportunity to look at that list of houses and choose which house they'd like to lead. So we did that. Then each house then had colors. So our school is black and orange. You can probably see black and orange. So the colors of the house were all different than that. We had the same school logo. We never leave that. But the houses had different colors and had different identities. Part of that identity is also a mascot for your house and a logo. And we even have students create those as well. So then we sorted through each house to make sure we had a good representation of every area to join each house. We wanted to make sure we didn't have a house that was full of our special ed students. We wanted to make sure siblings were together. So we did all of those things to make it a random sort, but we also were very intentional with some of the things that we did as well. I know Rex is going to jump in here soon. You want to jump in?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Rex Reeder, assistant principal here at Hayes High School. Welcome to our presentation. Just wanted to go over a few things with you. What's the logistics of house, why house, etc. Just a few things before we get in nuts and bolts. And you can take parts of house, you can use parts of house, but I challenge all of you, like we heard this morning, engagement's a big thing at schools, and we don't have it right now. The 1950 model of us doing typical schedules is over. We need to move forward and look at different options. And I challenge all of you, are you a change agent? Are you a politician? Or are you just an educator not willing to do anything right now? We have to move forward. House is not, you can say, wow, how would I change my schedule to get 30 minutes? I would say, how can you not? You can't tell me right now everybody's teaching bell to bell. You can't tell me that there's not 5 minutes that you can gather to try to engage your kids into something that's more, something that means to them, something they can help create. Those are things, lifelong skills that we're trying to exhibit in this house period. You can call it advisory period, you can call it whatever you want, but I challenge all of you, some of the things I'm going to show you now bring a lot of engagement. We put up there the 30 minutes for students. We put 30-minute periods in our class section during lunch. If you look at it, it's a little bit creative because there's 105 minutes. We can do some things for 105 minutes, and kids can do things like working lunches, get extra help. We have all kinds of different things going on in the house, which I'll share those to you. But do you have 30 minutes in your schedule or an hour that you can use during lunch periods to be able to run some of these crazy events? You can call me crazy. Yes, it's in my crazy brain. But I can tell you right now, at the high school level, everybody told me no one will wear those shirts. High school too cool. They won't wear those shirts. I can tell you every single student wears our house shirts for our events. They want to be a part of that. I see kids down the street being part of something. Every kid right now is not a number at our school. They're part of a house. Rick mentioned the 8-9 transition. That's a big deal for kids. I mean, coming to high school, coming to middle school from 5th to 6th, what do you have in your school that makes them feel part of your school immediately? Well, at Hayes High School, you immediately are part of a house. The sorting day, which I can talk about with any of you, was probably the biggest day on Twitter. I think we blew up Twitter because everybody wanted to know what house they were in. Those are big things for kids to be a part of something, get a T-shirt, have a group of teachers that are with them for 4 years. Because you know as well as I do, in high school, elementary, whatever, it's year to year you have a teacher and then you move on. And I don't remember seeing those teachers again after I moved to the next grade. With house, you're with a group of people for 4 years, and that's a big deal. No, I was just saying, change the slide. One second, sorry. There we go. Okay, so 30 minutes. We have 2 lunch periods. Half the students are at lunch. Other half are at lunch.
or house area. Gives us flexibility to run those assemblies because your teachers do not like to lose any teaching time. So we run our assemblies, seminars, clubs. I'm going to talk about clubs, which are huge. I would tell any of you to add clubs at any level, K-12, to get more engagement in your school. Academic intervention, and we have house events that go on, which are pretty crazy, which I'll talk to you about those in a second. All events happen during the school day. We have a lot of kids that can't get back here for athletics or after school events. I'm sure you have that at any level. Transportation, whatever, they can't get back to school. So all of our house events happen during the day. So when I say we have World Cup soccer going on where the houses compete, that happens during the school day. Yes, during that 30-minute to an hour presentation, which I think are a big deal as we're moving forward. We have a lot of students that don't make the varsity soccer team, don't make the varsity basketball team, can't be the star in the play. We do all kinds of academic, arts, and athletic events to meet the needs of all of our students. At our past school, I ran this too, which I think somebody's on here that used to be the principal there. We had a student that was completely failing, and we ran a house talent show. And the student asked me if he could play, if he could come on and play the piano for the staff and the students. This student was failing every class. He came out there, and I don't think anybody realized how good he was at that skill. No one would have known. They don't have. And after that, it just transformed the student into believing in what was going on at our school. Those are big things that happen for kids as we move forward. Right now, our daily schedule has advisory. Advisory is a 30-minute period where you have an advisory teacher every day. Advisory, that teacher meets with those students and builds connections with those students, probably 20 to 24 students every day. You can do a portion of this and do house one day a week. You won't get the same results. What I'm telling you is right now, you have to put in an all-in if you believe in student engagement and culture, that you're going to run something for the students and allow them to lead. Advisory allows us to do that. So we have advisory. You will see activities from advisory being students will work during that time. We do not make them do activities. We offer a lot of opportunities during that time, and I'll share a lot of them with you in a second. But that's the chance for them to do what they need to do for that 30 minutes, because high school students actually taught me that every single day is different for them. Today, they might have a test they need to study, or tomorrow. The next day, they might need just a break, and they just want to play or do an event or be a part of something, talk with a friend. They just need a break. But during that time, I want you to know, during advisory, that is probably as important as any time for our students, because we are doing a number of things during advisory, including one-on-one meetings with students. How are you doing? How are your grades? And that's where we're also intervening. Flex is a little different. This is where I learned from the students that I just mentioned. Every day is different for them. So we offer during flex days, and I'd challenge any of you to offer this, because we have quiet rooms. They can go study in their house. So if there's 150 kids in a house, they're all in about 8 or 10 rooms close to each other. So their house dean with their staff will meet, and they will have meeting rooms for those guys. They can do that. We might have cards playing in one. Yes, we might do that just for kids to have fun, heaven forbid, at school. And then we also might have technology time. We might have anything students are asking, but this allows them to pick and have some choice of what room, rather than just getting stuck in their advisory room every day. So I can talk more about flex if you need that as we go forward. Some logistics. Each house is paired with a sister house. You can see our house shirts on this one. I told you they'll wear the shirts. We see it downtown Delaware. I see kids with the shirts. Some of them wear it every day. I'm just letting you know that. I mean, every day. And they're free. And we buy a T-shirt. Every kid, when they come here, gets a free T-shirt. We have sponsors that do that. Don't underestimate getting free stuff. I mean, even as staff, we like free stuff. They obviously got that too. Change lunch periods. We can do that. We can allow students to eat with everyone at some point in high school. What I mean by that is, a lot of times you get stuck in one lunch period and you never get to see your friends. Well, with house, we rotate houses yearly. So within the 4 years of high school, you're going to be able to eat with your friend group if that's what you're looking for. So as we move forward, some logistics. Here's a board member's perspective. When we first started, and then I'll get to some activities in that, and I think you'll like those. But I want you to know the board, when we first started, was probably not all on board, because at New Albany, when we started this, we had 27 union issues. And I just want you to know perseverance. And then when we came to Delaware and started the same thing, we had some people that underestimated what it was. And so we met with some board members. We talked with some people. I mean, change is never easy. But as we began to see change, and for this one board member, his daughter was not really engaged in school that much, didn't have the opportunities, and really began to get engaged in house activities. And I think he went from somebody listening to the public on some concerns to really becoming an advocate and supporter of house, just because of how it changed his daughter's high school experience. The activities, the opportunity to be along with something, wearing the house shirt. To this day, he'll wear his house Steamtown around this building to see those things. And I think once he saw that after a certain time, it allowed him to realize this is really important and something that this district really treasures. And like right now with the pandemic, we are not able to run house activities just because obviously with running activities in the building, we have to keep it really simple right now. I want you to know they're all missing it. So he came out to be very positive from that. These are some pictures from the house. You can see how kids are with flags and the house cup sitting there. We'll talk about that in a second. You can see groups. Again, we had 2 teachers winning championships. It brought staff together that never meets. You know, each house, guys, is really broken down this way. Each one has a history teacher, an English teacher, a math teacher, and a science teacher, and an elective teacher, each one. So that's for intervention, but it's also for a chance to meet new people, because really at high school, you know, sometimes you get departmentized and you never get a chance to meet with anybody else. So it's brought our staff closer together as a group, and that's pretty important as we go forward. We had multiple chances for house deans positions, leadership. It's added leaders to our building. These are co-house deans where we've had a couple of people. Now, it's a good chance, a good starter for them to learn how to be a leader in the building and do it with somebody else. So we've done some co-house deans. A couple of things, academics, I can say, Rex, how is this academic? You know, the key is, one thing is, when do you have time to see your teachers if you need help? Well, house allows you to do that. If you really need to see a teacher and you're struggling, we can get you to your teacher. Also, if you're not getting along with your teacher, which never happens, we know that, but there's also teachers of the same discipline in your house that might be able to help you. What's interesting on that is we have the unique thing at Delaware where the student's allowed to pick a person that meant a lot to them to give their diploma. And what's happened is, a lot of times right now, we've seen the last few years, they pick somebody from their house team to do that, a teacher they've never had. So how about that? Again, they build a relationship with a teacher they've never had. And I'll give you some of those scenarios. They never would have met. We have special ed students meeting general ed teachers, and general ed teachers helping sped students they never had in class. They're AP teachers. And that's pretty powerful when you think about it. We do we have state, obviously, testing. Can we get rid of that, please? But we do have state testing, and the key is that this allows us to prepare during that time. We have flex opportunities. You know, another thing that we offered is, we saw, you know, when we were at New Albany, a lot of our students were going to some of the top schools, but it was real interesting. They had trouble speaking in front of a group. I can give you one where we had some events where we asked some of our top leaders to talk, and they struggled to talk in front of a group or an advisory, even 20 kids. You know, with some of our leaders, and I'll share some of the student leader packet with you. I know a bunch of you gave me your email. Being a student leader and a student mentor or a student tutor is huge. We're giving you opportunities to reach out and have those opportunities, put those things on your resume that you haven't had. But that tutoring part is sitting there. I can tell you some of our student tutors are harder than our teachers. They say, well, I can't really text every student at night. Oh, they're texting them. Hey, did you get that done? So they're checking on them. I found that they're harder on them than some of the teams. And sometimes I have to tell them to back off a little bit. So that's sitting there. We do weekly grade checks and advisory, goals to intervene if a student's struggling. And then we do seminars on, study skills, organization, and social issues during advisory time. So again, where are you going to get those in when you just have a 45-minute schedule every day? Same thing. Yes, our school's been nationally ranked 5 straight years. there's the advisory. Quick, some logistics, and I'll get into some games here. We have normal day is like homeroom. Every teacher gets about 25 students, one-to-one academics, post-grad plans. Yes, we do. We have, in Ohio, we have to do graduation plans on every student. We're doing those in-house. So those type of things are happening there where they have an advisory teacher that goes through their grad plans. It obviously makes students realize maybe some future, and we've caught some kids when falling through the track, falling through the net, that really don't have any plans or motivation in house, especially those one-on-one time helps a lot of students. Department representation, we talked about that a little bit. So we have those on our schedule. Each house is broken down of those. The academic and events intervention sitting there. You can look through those. What's interesting, when we started house, every house the second year, every house's GPA, the total house GPA went up. We're checking grades, we're intervening, we're getting them engaged. It's not an academic classroom, but obviously our GPAs and all of them were above a 3 last year, every house, which was interesting. So something's happening there. There's no doubt about it. We've built some relationships. Again, I'm not going to read through those, but I want you to know, again, as I go through these events, arts, academics, and athletics, kids come up with these events too. I am not cool by any means. The kids are cool. I'm not. So they come up with things that I've never even thought of. We did graffiti painting. Yes, on boards, not on the building, thank goodness, but on board, big whiteboards, and we showed those. We did a fashion show like Project Runway. There's a lot of things that our students have come forward that we'll do. We have lip sync, which is probably, and I can give you a story at some point at the end, but I think there's a lot of things. Our goal of those activities is to connect with students. Simple. So it's not Rex's ideas, it's students. And the more you can get to that, you're empowering them to do that. But those are things that are out there. Sibling support, we put in every sibling, and if you have a brother or sister, you're in the same house. So we have 8th graders all excited about what house they're in. They already know. So they can't wait to talk about it. So, siblings, you're in the same house. That would be my suggestion because they build connections as we go forward. Here's some of our events, and this is where I'll get to some things you might be interested in. We have student choices. House events include a couple of these: Wits and Wagers, Powder Puff. Yes, Powder Puff used to be the seniors just smashed the freshmen. Now it's house against house. So it's been it's transformed to a night on Wednesday night for our students and our ladies, which has been outstanding. It's changed the game for us on that. That's an event those students look forward to every single year. Yes, we have Battle of the Books, and I can share that activity if you want to see it. It's pretty neat to see kids go at it reading 5 books that are not on their curriculum. Heaven forbid read another book then that's not on that. So yes, they do that. They don't have to read them all, but they have to, and they answer questions. We've had a lot of that. We do house clubs. I can tell you this on clubs. We had 61 clubs run last year. Every other Friday we do house clubs, and we have a number of each teacher leads a club. And this is during school time. This is not after school. We have after school clubs, but as I told you before, a lot of our kids can't get back to this. So we have knitting, dodgeball, garage band, ROTC, trivia, cops 2.0. I want you to know I have video game club. Students bring the ideas. Again, I'm not cool. And then I find teachers to lead that club. I can give you this. Here's one quick story. We didn't have school on Friday. Students like, Mr. Reader, and it was club day. Mr. Reader, we don't have school on Friday. No, we don't have school on Friday. Is that, well, can I come to school? I said, you want to come to school? Yeah, we have our club. I want to do our club on Friday. I said, well, we don't have school. Well, I want to come. Can you talk to the superintendent? I said, no, I can't, but we will try to reschedule for you. But the point of it is, heaven forbid they're excited to come to an event. That's what I've heard numerous times. We did a basketball tournament that I had one of our special needs students in my office every single day 2 weeks before. I couldn't wait for the event. Just couldn't wait. Just could not wait. So I think when you talk about opportunities, it helps in the classroom when you have these type of things going on in your building.
And don't you think, Rex, too, that it allowed students with similar interests to be with students that had the same interests? So we talked about connections, the connection of student to student. was just as powerful or more than the student-to-teacher connection. So we also allowed teachers, and Rex knows, to pick a club too of their interest that they'd like to share with students.
So the house system, 1,700 students. We have 1,750 students going up to probably 2,000. We have 100 staff, 50 events, 8 houses, 1 cup, 1 goal. So we have a house cup that makes, and people would say, is it competitive? Yeah, I mean, I think competition makes some people go. I'm sorry to tell you that. I mean, you do not have to compete in any of these events, but we score the events all year long. So we have any day, we have a t-shirt competition day where how many kids in your house wear the t-shirt? You know, can you imagine that we had one house have 100% of their students and staff wear their t-shirt? I mean, again, I was told at the beginning, there's no way anybody's wearing this stuff. You're crazy. You know, well, they are. And when we do mat ball championships, you say, Rex, mat ball? Yeah, it's like kickball. Kids, I don't care where you're from, who you are, what, you're wearing that t-shirt. And they have to compete. And trust me, they're wearing the t-shirt because they cannot wait for those events. So it can happen at any level. And I think that's important to know.
And even during a pandemic, they're wearing.
Yep. So house, again, the clubs are big. I can't tell you enough. If anything, do clubs during school. You know, it gets your kids involved. Give your kids a voice. Don't be scared. Look up what those clubs are, because again, I don't know what they're talking about half the time. But I can't tell you enough. It really empowers not only your students, but your teachers. Because again, here's another example where a teacher makes a connection with a student they don't even have in class. They have the same interest. I had Dungeons and Dragons Club. We had 2 kids legitimately get in an altercation during school. The one wanted to be in Dungeons and Dragons Club. And I went to the other student, can you guys do this? Mr. Reader will be fine. And they actually were in the same group playing. So I think interests change perspective. And it also does that for students and staff. And I mentioned before, I've had students ask their club teacher to give their diploma because they've made that connection. So again, the more times that we put our staff in these situations that they can meet other students with the same interest, it's powerful. We did a student senate. Yes, we had our own senate. Student leadership. Don't underestimate at any level K-12 student leadership. We need more leaders. Make them talk. Make them give their ideas. Make them back up their points. Make them get involved. Make them help and be kind to other students. Show them. We assume way too much. That's why I told you earlier, our top students could not speak. They couldn't. And they needed opportunities. That's what House allowed them to do. And now I had kids leading clubs that could speak. And they'll come back and say that I needed that. Just give me the opportunity. House leaders is there. We have, and I've mentioned those. And we have an elementary outreach. I want you to know our houses will go to the elementaries and do events for them. That's big. You need that district wide. If you're an elementary principal, teacher, whatever, ask your high school students to come back. I know the reading. Yes, we can do that, but there's more to it. Spend some time. Go to their lunch. We went to their recess and helped kids run events. You know, try to teach them the right things. I mean, allow your students to be put in these situations that are lifelong skills, not just the content. Here's some clubs. I put them down. Again, I told you some animal rights, but these are, robotics is huge, sports stats, analytics. I mean, you see that. Conspiracy. Yes, we had conspiracy theory. Yes, they were talking Roswell. Yes, they were talking, you know, again, kids just want to talk. So give them a chance. That's the key. We have a lot of inclusion. I can't tell you enough what it's done for our special needs community, because the special needs students now feel part of this school. Usually in a lot of places, they're on their own in a different area. We have houses that have totally taken their students under their wing. We have a club called Peer Buddies. It was started with like 5 or 6. It now has like 80 kids in it. And they'll go down during their study hall, or they're done for the day and go down and see and want to be part and help out in those rooms. I mean, that's just what they want to do. They want to help students. I told you we did lip sync, and we had a special needs student get up in our auditorium in front of probably 350 students to do a song by herself. Now, in some schools, you know what would happen with that. In this school, she started singing her lip sync, and I'll tell you right now, every student got up and started singing and dancing with her out in the auditorium and cheering her on. And the tears, from staff, I think they realize what it means because that doesn't happen everywhere. But I think kids understand that's what it's about. We had mat ball, for example. I don't even have to tell the students to let the special needs kids kick the ball and run around the bases. They're just doing it. They want them to feel part of it. And that's a game changer, I think, in the building, and it builds culture. I mean, that's not just talk. It's not, hey, I'm going to bring in a speaker and let's listen to somebody talk to me about a subject, and then we'll check the box. Action speaks louder. So we have a lot of the students that are fully included, as you can see these pictures. They go to dances with them. I mean, they make them feel part of this place, and that's important. That doesn't happen everywhere. The house cup is sitting there. That is usually, if you ask the house dean, it's funny to watch our staff. You think everybody's just talking about what happened on the sports field. Most people here are talking about what happened in the house cup events. So a lot of our staff they're never competitive. No, they wouldn't be. Yes, they're competitive. So they want to win, but they want to have fun and they want to do it right. And it also, I want you to know, lastly, puts us in a lot of teachable moments for kids, because I don't think everybody has that opportunity to know about winning, losing, and how to handle things. And I think that's a big thing as we move forward. So the house cup, quickly, 8 houses compete for the house cup. House with the most points at the end of the year will win. There's probably about 50 to 60 events. We have a house games day. We shut the school down one day. I want you to know we shut it down. At my first school, New Albany, they thought that was crazy. The staff did. And then at the end, I had kids tell me that was the greatest day of school they ever had in their life. I mean, we have 4 to 5 sessions. I'll share the document with all of you that gave me your email with all the events. Yes, kids are showing up at events, and our goal again is to get every kid involved in some capacity. So we probably have 5 sessions, 8 events, 40 some events going on that day. If you ask anybody else, seniors last day, let me give you an example. Seniors last day is the day before. You'd think they wouldn't show up. Almost all seniors show up for House Cup. I think it shocks the staff. They want to play. So we have all kinds of events going on. You can look at those, and I have a bunch. Hayes has talent. We have a canned food. There's just so much going on that day. I think what I learned from the students, though, I tried to create it with all these events, but some of the students who are much smarter than me said, Mr. Reed, I just want to go watch the event. That's sometimes fun. That's just fun to see my friends do that. So, we have a lot of that going on too, but that's the challenge of the cup as we go forward. Yes, we have the amazing race. We have cake wars. If you want to come and be a judge, good luck. Bring water. It's pretty sugary, but it's fantastic. It's amazing to see what these students can create. At New Albany, our past school, we had a boat race. Kids had to build a boat and race it. The creativity is huge. Those are things like that. You can see all those. If you have questions on those, let us know. Yes, we have elementary partnerships. So they've started houses now. That doesn't guarantee they're going into our house, because we do have a system that separates. We have the sorting hat that does that. Yes, we got it from Harry Potter. No, but we do have a sorting hat that makes that happen. We give back too. Here's the house food drive. I mean, we did what? How many meals? Do you want to talk about it? Yeah, Dr. Strange, talk about that.
So we used to do outreach, and you can see the elementaries there that have their own houses, because they also feel like that's an important component for connections at any level. So years ago, we started a food drive, and we had maybe 50 cans come in to help our community, and then we decided to switch that up. And let me see if I can make sure you see me. You see me. We make sure that we do this now by house, and when we do it by house, it has transformed into thousands of cans. So it's changed the way we look at outreach and community food drives. So that's been a real positive for us. How's that? Any better? Okay. So Rex has told you about some of the students and their stories. You know, we had students come up to us and say, you know, I've never been on a team before. And they're in tears. Never been on a team. So it offers opportunities for our students to be a part of something that they've never been a part of before. The best day of my life for House Games Day. We invite the community and food trucks to be a part of that day on House Game Day. So it becomes a community event, acceptance for everybody. Everybody's a part of it. Rex finds ways for every student to compete. You know, even our students who aren't the most athletic will compete in Mario Kart and become heroes within their team, or they're great at wits and wagers game, and they become heroes within their house. So it allows everybody to raise their level. It's really, really cool to see. The house shirts, we want to offer those free. Am I not on? Free. Can't see myself. So we want to offer, you can just hear me, we want to offer a free t-shirt to everybody. So we went to some of our local businesses and said, you know what, will you back us on this house program? So we talk about that and the benefits it has not only for our students and staff and our school, but our community. And they get their name on the back of that shirt for a fee. We use that money then to buy the shirts to give the students for free. So then we invite those sponsors back to House Games to be a part of House Day. They become judges. They become, still not showing. Yeah, I know. So I think for us, the community plays a big part of this in terms of being a part of the free t-shirt, judging that House Day, and being a part of it. Let them see what their sponsorship has done. All right. So that's the House Game Day. That one. So we went to local businesses too. Swag is important. T-shirts are important. We have sweatshirts. We have hats. One of our businesses, a local pizza place, did our colors and put our house names on bands. So we have those as well, as you can see right now. And you can see that our local business supported us, and kids like to wear the bands. Then we have those for them as well. Let me see. I'll play it, Rex. We try. Okay. So one of our teachers was out, got in an accident, and he was a house dean. And when he was gone, our students put together a video tribute for him. The love and connections that our students foster for one another and their teachers in the house is unprecedented in my 42 years in education. If we ever considered not doing house next year, they would run Rex and I out of town. It's become embedded in our school culture. It's become a part of who we are. It's become our identity in our school. And I know Lisa does it. I saw her name pop up. She does it at her school, and she sees the benefit, and I'm sure she feels the same. If it ever went away, it would be awful. Felicia asked about in a pandemic. You know what? It isn't the same. Nothing's the same in a pandemic. But we know our kids in our community and our staff said we still need to do things with house. Our board still wants to pay for house dean stipends. So we still do T-shirt day. We still make connections online. We still make connections with our online academy students who choose that. So we continue the connections just in a little different way. Not as vital and vibrant maybe, but we still make sure house continues just in a little bit of a different way. We miss it badly. It's become so embedded in here that our yearbook featured house after year 2, just to show how important that house cup is. It became the center of everything that we did because not only did we offer points for athletic, artistic, and academic events, but we also offered points for improvement in attendance every quarter. We offered points for improvement in academics every quarter. So then it became really a part of what we are and who we are, trying to reach for that House Cup. So we kept track of points along the way. Every year, every time there's an event, that goes on the tote board, and the students know where they stand and where they are. Everybody, just so you know, has a chance to win the cup by the time at the end of the year comes. So that last day, House Cup Games Day, becomes the day that the leader and winner does emerge. It builds community, and I think people in the session who I see are commenting know that it builds a real sense of community. As Rex said, when we came up with the idea of T-shirts, and he's right. You know, people said, you know, high school kids, they're not going to wear. They're wearing them everywhere. To see the picture of our students coming together to win the cup, and wearing their T-shirt and the pride they feel, and again, many of them have never felt that team camaraderie that is built and established all year long for 4 years to build that sense of community with us. We have Powder Puff. I don't know if some of you still have that at high school. Many high schools probably have eliminated that, but we still have it. But when we came, Powder Puff was the senior girls beating up the freshman girls, and it was awful. It was ugly. So now we changed it from grade level to house, and now houses compete every year. To my behind times, our houses compete in Powder Puff, and it's become a tradition. We do it in the evening. We do it homecoming week. We do it with a parade starting that, and make it a big deal. Our entire community comes out now to see Powder Puff, and it's been a fun event in the stadium to support their house. Students come out and cheer, and we make it a fun evening here at Delaware. I'm going to show you some pictures as we finish, and I want you to notice and take note of not only the academic pieces and the athletic pieces and the artistic pieces that you'll see, but I want you to really hone in on faces of our children who are at a high school. And as Rex said, this high school, if you do 45 minutes, bells ring, kids move. Bells ring, kids move. And you make that the factory model of your high school, it's no different than my grandfather's schedule 100 years ago. No different. So to say we're going to change is not easy. To say you're going to improve is not easy. But when you see the faces you're going to see in the next couple minutes, you're going to see why we did this and why you can do this and why it makes a difference. High school should be fun. High school should be a time where kids enjoy their 4 years, because we all know how fast it goes. So this is one of the academic games. This is our in math, and they're competing. The joy in the faces. Talked about that 8th grade transition as well. Faces. Teachers so involved in our house. Academic, athletic, artistic games. And as you're going through looking at those pictures, you're going to find that we have stories, and the stories are what keeps us going. One of those stories is the mother and daughter that you're going to see, and it's Anna. And Anna emerged from her freshman year struggling, and we let her take a leadership role, and Anna became a great leader in our houses. And her mom was so thankful and grateful for the opportunities that were afforded her by house that she used that as a springboard to her college at Miami University. So as a leader there. So it's been a great leadership opportunity. Diversity, teacher involvement, student involvement, pride, identity. God forbid kids love high school. And they'll tell you it sets our high school apart from any other school around. There aren't many around that do this in a public school. So I think it gives us a great identity and a great opportunity to connect with our kids in our community. Pictures of see their faces in there. So as we wrap up, and you're still looking at some faces, as we wrap up, let's talk about the takeaways. The house system, I hope you have a better feel of what we've done at our high school and what it is, why we came up with the names. I hope you've learned some of the advantages that our house system provides us. And I hope you can implement some of those things. As Rex talked about our clubs, there is no reason that your students can't have 100% engagement in clubs. As they go to college and put that on their resume, I was a 4-year student in the future police club. Whatever it is, it helps our young people. We really do appreciate you having us with you today and you choosing us. We'd love to help you on your journey. If you have questions, put them in the chat. We'll make sure we answer them all. And I'm going to include our contact information too on this last slide as you'll see it. And feel free to reach out to us as well. We are here to help you. Rex gets energized, as you probably heard him when talking about house, because of the feedback we've gotten from our entire learning community and stakeholders. So we again thank you for joining us today. We wish you the very best luck in your journey, and I hope you can implement some of that house. But you'll never do it alone. We're here to help you as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it. Enjoy the next 2 days at one of the best conferences in the United States. Thank you.